Welcome. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. I am Adriana Bitar, journalist, and I'll be here for these 2 days to introduce this events program that is hybrid for the first time. We have participants in person here at the Palácio dos Bandeirantes, administrative headquarters of the São Paulo State government, and many are attending remotely via our platform that has been specially developed for this event. And you can access it by the URL pppamericas.com. We are thrilled to have you with us during these 2 days. Thank you very much for attending. Our special thanks to authorities present in the auditorium and those who are attending remotely. Thank you very much. PPP Americas has been organized by the BID Group, one of the main sources of development financing for Latin America and the Caribbean. The IDB Group mission intends to improve people's lives, providing financial solutions and development know-how for both the public and the private sector. It consists of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, that has been working with governments for 60 years, IDB Invest for the private sector, and IDB Lab, that tests innovative ways to promote more inclusive growth. This event has the support of São Paulo State government and the European Union, in addition to a set of sponsors that helped to organize this event. In its 10th edition, PPP Americas will bring together the main agents from the public and private sector for the development of infrastructure and services in Latin America and the Caribbean, aiming at debating challenges, solutions, and new trends in structuring projects in each sector, as well as best practices to finance projects and attract investors. The program can be consulted or checked in our online platform that also provides virtual spaces so that you can expand your networking and talk to the distinguished participants of this event. By the way, this edition is interactive. Use our digital platform to send your questions and comments directly to speakers and moderators. We'll have several panels happening simultaneously on this stage. If you are attending online, you should select the desired track at the platform lobby. If you're present here, you should use the audio equipment handed over at the entrance of the room. If you need any guidance, please ask for our support team. This event is being translated simultaneously for Portuguese, English, and Spanish. On the platform, you can select the language at the menu at the upper left corner of the video. And security is our priority. Therefore, we comply with the recommendations of health authorities to prevent COVID-19. All the presents have been fully vaccinated and should comply with all the safety protocols. In order to open officially PPP Americas, let's listen to the IDB Group representative in Brazil, Mr. Morgan Doyle. Welcome.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you. Adriana, on behalf of the Inter-American Development Bank, I wish to thank the Vice Governor of São Paulo, Rodrigo Garcia, and São Paulo State government secretaries for welcoming us here at the Palácio dos Bandeirantes. We are delighted with the hospitality, the quality of the infrastructure, and the collection of modern art paintings exposed on the palace walls, especially for this event. And by the way, if you are connected online, I strongly recommend that you visit the virtual exhibition, which is fantastic. Thank you, Vice Governor, for opening your house not only to the IDB, but for the whole of Latin America and the Caribbean, who are the main actors in PPPs and concessions. We are thrilled to see that this is a shared agenda by all of us. I'd like to salute my colleague, James Scriven, CEO of IDB Invest, and Ana Beatriz Martins, Deputy Head of the Delegation of the European Union. I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks for its invaluable support to this event. I wish to thank each one of the speakers and moderators who will share their relevant experience in this journey. I'd like to thank you that are attending either here or online. There is no doubt that this is the most important forum about PPPs in Latin America and the Caribbean. And I'm sure that we'll see solutions that will allow us to have a sustainable economic recovery. This is a top priority for the IDB, as established in our 2025 vision. And hence our technical and financing capacity is at the service of both the public and the private sectors so that we can build better chapters in our history. Let's go together and count on us. And let's begin PPP Americas 2021. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigada, Sr. Morgan Doyle.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan Doyle. Now we'll hear the IDB Invest CEO, Mr. James Scriven. Welcome, Mr. Scriven.
Good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure to welcome the of PPP Americas. This is a biannual IDB group a space to talk about challenges, new perspective, development related to the public and private partnerships in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is a real honor to inaugurate this conference, the biggest one of its kind in the region, on behalf of the IDB Group. Today, our societies are facing several challenges. On one hand, the pandemic has tested the capacity to face an unprecedented health crisis. On the other hand, climate is demanding fast action and coordination to preserve our planet and the inequalities that require to reduce our coexistence and economy. The infrastructure sector has certainly been affected by this situation. But at the same time, we believe the development of infrastructure projects can be a real part of the solution we seek. In this sense, governments need two things to develop more infrastructure. On one hand, design, build, operate, and maintain infrastructure projects. And on the other hand, technical capacities to build, operate these projects in a more innovative and sustainable way. Most of this can be achieved by promoting an increase of the private participation in financing and development of projects. There is where the public and private partnership, what we call PPP, play a strategic role. Historically, PPPs have been a useful tool to attract private investment financing infrastructure projects and to expedite the construction process by assigning project risk effectively. They are also a very efficient mechanism for the implementation of innovative technical and operational breakthroughs. These benefits improve efficiency, minimize costs, and maximize the value of the money of the projects. Well-developed and planned PPPs can also bring other benefits to governments that are linked to sustainability, such as improving procurement processes, increasing transparency, and promoting fair market conditions. However, mostly due to the consequences of the pandemic, private investments in Latin America and the Caribbean infrastructure experienced a 54% drop in 2020 compared to 2019. In this context, This complex context is necessary to revisit the factors conditioning the financing of PPPs in the region and identifying solutions. We have an opportunity to build a green and inclusive recovery of Latin America and the Caribbean through the private sector, and especially through PPPs. To support this, at the IDB Group, as Morgan just said, we're guided by Vision 2025, a strategic roadmap that seeks accelerating sustainable growth in the region through 5 investment opportunities. 1, regional integration, which includes mobilizing investors to bridge infrastructure, financing gaps, and strengthening global value chains. 2, small and medium-sized enterprise, what we call SMEs, creating the condition to maximize its contribution to rebound the region. 3rd, digital economy, creating the capacity to adopt digital technologies and foster innovation. 4th, gender equality and diversity by empowering women and vulnerable populations. And last but not least, 5th, climate action by helping countries and companies build resilience, mitigation, and adaptation. As I said, PPPs offer a unique opportunity for the recovery of our region, and it's the biggest opportunity we have. To advance the achievement of the infrastructure-related UN Sustainable Development Goals, Latin America and the Caribbean must invest a minimum of $2.2 trillion in infrastructure in the next decade, while increasing infrastructure assets could create 35,000 jobs for every $1 billion spent. In this regard, scaling of thematic bonds and other instruments, such as partial or total credit guarantees, will be instrumental in addressing financial needs of the private sector, in addition to traditional sources of debt. On the other hand, on the non-financial side, it is necessary to support the private sector in developing projects that can meet the global demands in terms of sustainability while ensuring bankability. This is why this event is so important. In the next 2 days, we will listen to experts in the financial, technical, legal, and environmental aspects of infrastructure, talking not only about the challenges and successful development of PPP, but also the solutions that we need. We also will hear about IDB's group expertise in PPP, an area that receives strong support through a single window, which catalyzes the expertise of the IDB and IDB Invest. Together, we offer the governments and the private sector technical solutions, legal advice, financial and non-financial tools to create and build solid PPP projects throughout the region. I invite you to maximize your time at PPP Americas, either through the web or in person in your offices or in person in São Paulo. So let me give you, again, a warm welcome to this event, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Mr. James Scriven. And also connected to PPP Americas, we have the Deputy Head of Delegation of the European Union in Brazil, Ana Beatriz Martins. Welcome. Thank you. Good morning. I wish to greet the Vice Governor of São Paulo State, Rodrigo Garcia, and the CEO of IDB Invest, as well as Mr. Morgan Doyle, the IDB representative in Brazil, with whom I had the pleasure of sharing the stage. I wish to salute the São Paulo State government, the IDB, for organizing this conference, co-financed by the European Union. I'd like to say at the opening of the PPP Americas 2021 that this is a very important tool for the dialogue between the private and the public sectors. We have, between the European Union Union and Latin America intangible value, but also tangible assets such as trade. We have European investment in Latin America. We have strong ties between our regions, and that was shown last week in a virtual summit where leaders of the European Union and Latin America were brought together to talk about sustainable cooperation in the post-COVID era. The European Union has underscored its willingness to help fight the pandemic, and the member states and the institutions of the European Union are also willing to help. We have grant concessions for the next 7 years in Latin America. And part of these resources will be funneled for the European Fund of Sustainable Development, aiming at helping public and private players in the region in the cooperation with European development banks. Ladies and gentlemen, last week, the European Union launched the new strategy, Global Gateway, in order to foster interconnectivity and safety in the domains of telecommunications, energy, transportation, all over the world. We wish to attract both public and private investors to achieve these goals. The Global Gateway will define financial institutions that will help finance development, and we intend to invest in infrastructure that may bring about a transformation. We have a commitment that's similar to the commitment held by the G7 leaders. We are inaugurating a new fiber optic cable in Fortaleza that was financed by the European Union. The fiber optic cable will probably be expanded to other states in the region and other countries, carrying data all over the region. A new digital partnership between the European Union and Latin America is underway, and it will be launched in the first half of 2022. The Digital Alliance intends to foster the digitalization, but putting humans at the center, and intends to agree standards and norms that will comprise infrastructure investments in transportation, logistics, urban mobility, and all this will use the transforming power of technologies just like 5G in order to have a more efficient operations of the markets. I cannot fail to mention our close partnership with the IDB. The IDB 2025 vision is aligned to our portal, to our global gateway. One of the pillars, or the 4 pillars of the 2025 vision, announced by the CEO, are ingredients that will intensify our cooperation and partnership. We intend to recover the economy, but by building green and digital economies, we intend to reduce inequalities as well. Public-private partnerships have a lot to contribute. And so I wish to thank you all for attending, and I wish you a fantastic event. Thank you.
Muito obrigada.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ana Beatriz Martins. Now, let's hear the Vice Governor of the State of São Paulo, Rodrigo Garcia. Welcome.
Muito bom dia.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to São Paulo. Welcome to the headquarters of the state of São Paulo, Palácio dos Bandeirantes. It's an honor for me. Governor João Daria is receiving, me and him are receiving an important event discussing public and private partnerships in the Americas, and this is the perfect place to host the event. Our state carried out important PPPs projects over the years, and we do recognize the IDB's and PPP Americas' crucial role in improving our legislation, our guarantee system, and the partnerships we have had so far. I would like to thank the presence of Morgan Doyle, the IDB group representative here in Brazil, James Scriven, the CEO of IDB Invest, also Stefan Agnew, and he's the head of the Corporation for the European Union Corporation. Ana Beatriz Martins, that's part of this opening. She is the deputy head of the delegation of the European Union. And thank you very much to everyone from the government of São Paulo that is here. And thanks to everyone that is participating online as well. PPP Americas is being carried out after the COVID-19 pandemic, and that makes us think about what we have done in the last decade in terms of concessions and PPPs over the world, and it allows us to think in this post-pandemic world on what is crucial, essential, and which will be the challenges for São Paulo, Brazil, and in the world in the coming years. If we had the avenues of concessions and PPPs as the best ones for infrastructure projects, especially in developing countries, now it is crucial to improve all these mechanisms in this post-pandemic world. The pandemic of course, it makes us all very sad for losing millions of people all over the world, and that also increases our challenges in terms of inequality. And so we expect to have a better quality of life in developing countries. That means investing in infrastructure, improve urban mobility, and therefore improve the quality of life for our population. So we are very happy to host this event here in São Paulo. São Paulo has a great experience in developing PPPs over the past years, and we intend to innovate side by side with IDB and the partners of PPP Americas from now on. If in the past we had challenges regarding legislation and also financing funds and security funds, now we are also including over the past few years the perspective of environmental sustainability, ESG, topics so important for the sustainable development of our country. We are very glad to host PPP Americas here at the headquarters of São Paulo State. This is an innovative government in terms of partnerships and PPPs in Brazil, and this government is at the forefront in the development of the country. This is a state that respects the environment, it respects the diversity of our population, and the state does believe that PPPs are the way to develop our infrastructure. So welcome all of you to our headquarters, the headquarters of the state of São Paulo, on behalf of João Dória, our governor, and myself. We are very glad to have you here with us over these 2 days to discuss, to exchange experience, to talk about the 5 needed pillars to develop PPPs in Brazil and Latin America. And I am sure to get even more knowledge about the challenges that we have ahead of us. Welcome, and I wish us all a good event.
Muito obrigada, senhor vice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Governor. He will now leave the room because he has an agenda of himself. So now we have just concluded the opening of the event, and we will start with the first panel shortly.